بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. I praise Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. I thank Allah. I ask Allah to send countless blessings and salutations on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all of those who follow them in excellence until the day of judgment. And I ask Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala to grant us the sincere intentions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaikum salam to all of you. Sorry for this morning. I didn't get blocked. I was unaware of some of those Facebook policies. I don't know much about social media. Even though I'm on here, I'm only doing certain things. I know how to do this, and that's it. So I don't know all the rules. And among those rules is, I guess, if there's music, I guess copyrighted music or commercials, because I was playing something from YouTube this morning, making a point, and I was totally unaware of the rules. I always thought that, you have First Amendment rights. Freedom of speech. You do, but just watch what you say. So I won't play that song. Freedom of speech. Just watch what you say. I don't own the rights to that music. It's funny. But Alhamdulillah, in any case, I was making a point. And I think the point is extremely important. So I'll make the point without the music. And the point was that sometimes I was talking to our non-Black or African-American family who attend our classes and our lessons and watch our videos, that sometimes they may hear me talk and they think that, and that's something that's being said about me. Oh, he's only on the Black thing. He only cares about the Blacks. And, some people may misunderstand the way I talk and my feelings, and they could understand that. I mean, they would be totally wrong, but they could. And I was explaining this morning that I'm very sensitive to Black issues, whether they're Black issues that pertain to Black people in general, or they're Black issues that relate to Black Muslims. Those issues I'm concerned about because I'm Black, right? That's logical, isn't it? I'm concerned with issues related to Black people in general, and also I'm concerned with issues that are related to Black Muslims because I'm Black. Does that seem illogical to anyone? It's like far-fetched. Wouldn't that be logical? That's a question, right? Last time I asked questions, I got cut off. So maybe we need this work. You're going to get this work, right? I don't own the rights to those words. This is funny. Now you got to almost watch everything you say. So I don't want to lose the big benefit from stealing somebody's quote. Right? No, seriously, though. So, but at the same time, that doesn't mean, and nor should it be misunderstood, that I'm against others. I'm a Muslim, and the Muslim nation is one ummah, right? Nahnu ummatun wahida. We are one nation. But sometimes the feeling you get that it's only black people who feel like that in general. That's specific. You know, there are specific, there are good people in every ethnicity. They're good people, right? See, like my brown brother, Shaquille, that's a good dude. And don't tell Abdulaziz you're too busy. You are free. And you will make yourself free, and you will help my son in the Islamic sense. Got that, brown boy? Right? Right. So that's a good dude. And he has a concern for black issues, even though he's not black. He's a Muslim, though. So he has a general concern for every Muslim. That's a good thing, right? I met one of the most amazing Caucasian women I've met in a long time, Sister Fatima, and everybody here, man or female, will testify to the love that woman has in her heart. That woman is amazing. Her husband, amazing. 70 years old. Her husband, 77. They traveled all the way from Canada to spend time not knowing a person, not knowing, just listening on the internet and feeling a vibe, and came all the way to Atlantic City to be with a bunch of black people. And she was mixing like she was one of them. Amazing. Amazing, that soul and spirit. And you have that from all walks of life. However, with all that, we're not going to tone down our feelings about our issues that affect us, that are real, because it makes someone else uncomfortable. You should be uncomfortable if you are uncomfortable, not because I'm speaking about these issues, because these issues actually exist. I'm going to repeat that. As a non-African American, a non-black person, and a Muslim, you should feel uncomfortable, not because I'm speaking about these issues. Rather, you should feel uncomfortable because these issues really exist. So as I talk about these issues, they're real. And African American Muslims, black Muslims, must come together. They must, for their own survival in the world and within al-Islam. They will be wiped out in the world if they don't come together, and they will be wiped out within Islam if they don't come together. They will be a servant element of the Muslim community. They will never thrive in the Islamic community as a whole if they don't come together. You must realize that. You need Black everything. You need Black businesses, Black masajid, Black institutions, Black educational systems, Black schools. And you need to cooperate with others until others respect you. Listen to what I said. Until others respect you. And they will never respect you until you do it. They won't even listen to you until you do it. Until you say, guess what? This is the Black thing. Yes. You got to say it. You can't just do it. You got to say it as well. It can't be just something you do. You got to vocalize that. Because others have been the oppressor so long that they don't have to say it. They just do it. It's already understood. This is our thing, and you're just a guest. It's understood. Who this our is depends where you at. If you're in this community, it's our thing and you're a guest. If you're in that community, it's our things and a guest. But when we come to the Black community, you're welcomed with no restrictions. That's real. We are the most loving people on the face of the earth. However, we're not the most loved people. Put that up. We are the most loving people on the face of the earth. However, we are not the most loved people. I'll repeat it again because I want someone to put it up. We are the most loving people on the face of the earth. However, we are not the most loved people. Somebody put that up because I want to put it there and I want to pin it. Right. Everyone copy that. Copy it and paste it up in the thing. Fill it up. It's serious. African Americans, that's the we I'm talking about, are the most loving people on the face of the earth. However, we are not the most loved people. And you need to think about that, right? And becoming a Muslim didn't change that. The fact that one says, I'm Muslim, that didn't change anything, right? That ain't changed nothing. And I'll give you an example. When we had our picnic, our cookout, our family reunion, right? You can feel the love when we take care of each other. When we take care of each other, you can feel the love. You know that you were loved. I'm going to ask you, for those who attended our cookout this weekend, I'm going to ask you, did you feel loved? Did you feel loved? If you did, put I felt loved. I felt loved. If you felt loved and you came to that cookout, put it, I felt loved. And when we say that, we should feel that no matter where we go as Muslims, among other Muslims. We should always feel it. That should be the standard. That should be the standard. That should be the standard. And we must work hard that's the standard in the Black community in general, especially in the African American, the Black Muslim community. And then when we solidify that love that we should have for one another, we need to force it down the throats of everybody else. Right? We need to force it down the throats of everybody else. No apologies. And that is so important. That is so important for the well-being of our community. For the well-being of our community, that is essential. And the reason why I'm saying this, because it is part of the cancer in the Muslim body that it is okay to undermine, to criticize, to oppress, to disenfranchise Black Muslims. And that's specific in Black people in general. Because if you're a Muslim and you're made to feel less than, inferior as a Black Muslim, imagine how that is to Black people in general. The one who makes you feel like that in your own house of worship, within your own faith group, imagine how they treat the rest of your people. That's you. You say, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. You, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you pray 5 times a day. You fast during Ramadan. You give zakah. You make hajj. You make umrah. You study Islamic knowledge. And you're still treated like that. Imagine how they feel about the others. And for you, your strength as a people is bringing your people to Islam. But if Islam is like that, your people's not coming. And the reports show that. When Black people don't feel empowered, they're going to flee. When they don't feel that this is a real safe space for me, they're going to flee and they're going to leave Islam. So really, I've come to some hard realities over the last few years. And the more I work at building our people up, and I'm working hard at it, right? Yes, I'm specifically targeting Black people, hard. Non-Muslims and Muslims, I'm working on both ends. Non-Muslims, strengthen them up, give them a better, and hopefully bring them to Islam. Muslims, to empower them so they can go do da'wah and call people to Allah. And they got a lot of work to do. Because if we get it right, we can change the course of Islam in this country and around the world from this base. America is a strong base. And if we got ourselves together, we could change probably the course of history. It's not far-fetched. If we ever, as a people, came together, started building, putting our resources together, helping one another, unapologetically, I'm with them, now I'm down. We could change the face of the course of history. Seriously. And I have no doubt about it. Malcolm X, Al-Hajj Malik Shahbaz, is not dead. He lives in us all the time. We just got to revive the spirit. He lives in each and every one of us. We just have to revive the spirit. And we got to go for it. We got to be courageous. I'll give you an example. And a lot of times you don't know it, but I be shooting warning shots. right? Don't come at us. Don't. You're going to be surprised. We're not going to run. We're going to take you head on. Don't come at us. We're not running. We're going to take you head on. Why do I say that? Because we got generations to save, and you don't give a crap about if we die or not. And many are like that, and they show it all the time. But we usually cower down, and others get used to that. And since too many of us are cowardly, always shucking and jiving, always bowing our head, can't look nobody in the eyes. Yes, sir, boss. We sick, boss. I'm sorry I made you uncomfortable, boss. Because there's so many Negroes like that, it makes it difficult for real men, real black men and women to stand up. It makes like, why are you rocking the boat? Why are you rocking the boat? Because the boat need to be tipped over. We drowning anyway. They might as well drown with us. Or we all should be rescued, right? And this is something that is important. And the Islamic knowledge is a means to us to do it, right? We are unfairly treated on every level. On every level. You have us not realizing that. We don't. We don't realize how unfairly we're treated. A message to the house Negroes among us who are watching and reporting to Master. You are deceived. I know you like doing the bidding of Mr. Charlie. I understand that. I understand your inferiority complex. I understand you think it's a necessary element of existence to be a servant of others. I understand that mentality. But it's time for us to change that narrative, right? It's time for you to have someone ask you for permission, not you keep asking them for permission. This is your country. You were born here. Your ancestors fought for your freedom. And it's not just to them and to their legacy that after all their fighting for freedom, you voluntarily, religiously become a servant. That's injustice at its highest level. Your ancestors fought and died and bled for your freedom, and you voluntarily, religiously throw it all away. I want you to let that sink in your mind. And you do it in the name of Islam. When Islam took the rock off the chest of Sayyidina Bilal, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. When Islam took the rock off the chest of Sayyidina Bilal, radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And here you go, putting it back on you, saying, this is my station. This is sad. And somebody need to tell you about yourself. And I don't mind doing it. Since I was a little kid, I've always fought against oppression since I was a kid. Since I was a little kid, I've always fought against oppression. I've always fought against injustice since I was a kid. And now I'm at an age where I watch children and now grandchildren, and it seemed like it was yesterday. That's how fast it went. And I realized that as our condition, if we don't make a drastic change, they're going to feel what we feel today and what others before us have felt. It's supposed to get better, not worse. At least within our ability to make it. We're supposed to make a better environment, a better opportunity for our future generations, not worse. We don't know when the day of judgment is coming. So Black people and all people may have another 1,000 years on earth, Allahu A'lam. We don't know. And even if the day of judgment is coming tomorrow, we still prepare and live like we're going to be here for a long time. We're prepared. So you ask that question. Why is it in your own country, in your own neighborhood, where your ancestors and forefathers established the deen for someone else to come live comfortably as a Muslim because of your sacrifice, you got to ask permission? Think about that. My forefathers laid the foundation down for Islam in this country. They did all the suffering, all the struggles, all the fighting. You come on the back of that, enjoy religious freedom, enjoy all the things you enjoy, and we got to ask you permission to do what is best for us. I want you to sit that right there and think about it. Now you can change your dialect, you can bow your head, you can shuffle your shoes, you can dance, you can do whatever you want. Answer how that makes sense. Answer how that makes sense. Does that make sense to any Black man or woman, Muslim, in this group, in this line right now? Does that make sense that your ancestors struggled and fought and did whatever they did for the establishment of Islam in this country, for everyone else to come and benefit off that struggle, and then you ask them, can I have permission to live Islam the way that's best for my people? Does that make sense? Listen, you want to impress me? You want to show me you on the hook? Change this condition. Change the condition. I want to see you the president of the organization. You're in charge. You're making the decisions. Until you make the decisions, don't tell me that you can give a talk, that you can get on the minbar. I want you to run the organization. Let me know when you make the decision. Then I'll be impressed. Then I'll see, oh, is it change? When you run the organization, you're in charge. We come to your office and you're making a decision. Now you tell me a difference. That's what we want to see. Now that I gave you a job, I want to own the company. I don't want a job. I don't want a job. I want to run the company. And I'm not settling for nothing less, or I'll make my own company. You heard that? When you're able to do that, that's the only way you're going to get freedom. That's the only way you're going to be respected. Long as you sit at somebody else's table and they're supplying the food, they're supplying the tablecloth and the utensils and the drink, you're not doing it, you are their servant. That's the reality. And Black people, Black Muslims need to arrange their own table and invite others to sit at their table. like every other civilized nation around the world does. Do you realize, my African American brothers and sisters in Islam, you are a nation. You are a nation, just like everyone else. And nations supply their own and do for themselves and build for their future. That's what every civilized nation around the globe does. So we don't got to talk about certain issues. We don't got to talk about certain issues. Don't cover reality with false religious contexts. Don't cover reality with false religious contexts. That's not Islam. Because you want to keep our people in a subjugated position, and I want to free them. No. I want to see the day when our children are proud leaders in the world, proud, honored, dignified leaders in the world. When they issue out the permission slips, they don't ask for permission, they give permission. Study the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where was the first place he sent the Muslims for asylum? Where was it? Where was it? Where did the Prophet ﷺ, when the Muslims in Mecca, in the beginning of his call, were suffering and going through hardship, where he sent them? Where he told them to go? Abyssinia, right? Abyssinia. What is Abyssinia in Arabic and in English? Another word. Make sure we all know what we're talking about. Africa. Where? What is in Arabic? What is the Arabic word for Abyssinia? And what is another English word for Abyssinia? So people know. Come on, y'all, jump in. Ethiopia. What's the Arabic word for Abyssinia? Habasha. Now, right? That's where the Prophet ﷺ sent his first Sahaba. Now, I want to ask you a question. What color were the rulers and leaders in Abyssinia, Habasha, or Ethiopia? What color was the leaders? The leader, and Najashi, that's his title, and the leaders around him in business, in trade, in education, in politics. What color were the leaders? They were black. Some of them purple black, that's right. And what kind of people were they that the Prophet ﷺ sent them there? There was other places all around the world he could have sent them. Why he sent them there? What type of people were they? What made him choose those people, those black leaders, those black rulers, those black businessmen, those black doctors, those black engineers, those black farmers? Why did he send his Sahaba, his most precious support, to all those black people? What was it? What was it? What was it about them that they were chosen over everybody else? They were good people. No one would be treated unjustly in their land. No one would be treated unjustly in their land. No one would be treated unjustly in their land. We are those people. We are the same people who the Prophet ﷺ sent his companions who were Arabs. He sent them to us. He sent them to us. Not only that, we weren't even Muslim. We weren't even Muslim. We were in that land worshiping Jesus, kufr. But we were a just people. We were a good people. We were a strong people. We are organized people, and we would protect anyone who is doing right. We have not changed, especially as Muslim. We have not changed, especially as Muslim. That was us. Don't let nobody make us forget that. As if we have nothing to offer. It was us who supported this mission when no one else would. See, but when they disconnect us from our heritage, when they disconnected us from our asanid, from our chains, from our links, they also made us forget who we were and who we are still today when we get ourselves together. We are the same people who built Black Wall Street. We are those people. Hasn't nothing changed except our mind has been made to make us think that we are incapable, that we are inferior, that we are underachievers. That's not real. That's in the mind, not in the heart. We need to bring out what's in the heart and tell the people who's putting that nonsense in our mind to get lost. Yes, I'm saying it just like this. I'm saying it in these clear, unambiguous Black terms. Yes, yes. Because the trick is, don't do Black stuff while you're doing Arab stuff. Don't do Black stuff while you're doing local Arab stuff. Tell us don't do Black stuff. Don't, it's not about, have a Negro talking about he's dividing the people. He's divisive. Boss, we're not like him. Make him a kafir so they can forget him. You heard that word he said, boss? That's kufr. That's right, little Johnny. Good boy. Now go tell the other Negroes he's a kafir. Go ahead, good boy, good boy. That's us. That's despicable. And we as a people should throw them out. We should throw them out. Anyone like that, we should throw them out. They are a traitor, they are an enemy, and that's treason. That's treason. And in any civilized society, a treasonous person is not accepted. The one who would sell their people out would never be accepted in the clan. Can't sell us out. What kind of person are you? We can't trust you. You come to the meeting to record for Mr. Charlie. You in the meeting. Look, boss. Look who's here, boss. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. While we're building, you're reporting to the one who wants to destroy us. to the one who doesn't want us to have anything, who only wants to take from our community and build their own. Yeah, I said it. I didn't use Jay-Z tonight, so they didn't cut me off. But that's what I'm saying. That's how we got to be. And we got to be fearless about that. And determined that we're going to change the plight of our people. And Islam is our key to do it. But if we become servants in Islam, in our own land, where we fought and bled and sacrificed after we came through slavery, Jim Crow, war on black people in the name of drugs, economic disparity, educational disparity. We the same one that fight for our freedom all the time. Then we're going to become Muslims and we're going to be servants. We become Muslims and we can't build nothing for ourselves. It becomes haram without being haram, because it's not said haram, but the state of the tongue, the state of the heart says haram. Why are the black people doing for themselves? A'udhu billah. Why are the black, what is this black imams round table? How dare them Negroes rise up and talk about what they're going to do for themselves without our permission? How dare they? Yeah, that's the state. In Arabic, they call that lisan al-hal. They didn't say it. That's what they mean. And sometimes they even say it to those Negroes behind our backs. That's real. That's real. And I want the message to go out. I had the most hurtful feeling the other day. And I say it, I was hurt. I was hurt. That I found out my own people, whom I love dearly, among my own teachers, acting like that. It wasn't Sheikh Samir, so don't get nervous. Like, Sheikh Samir, no, it wasn't him. Right? For real, one of my own teachers acting in that manner. I blast him. And it hurt. My teacher, one of my teachers, acting like that, I blast him. I blast him. And he even said to me, you seem a little uppity. I've just changed the words he used so I don't have to identify him. So his feelings won't be totally hurt, because I hurt his feelings enough. And that wasn't my intention. I just was checking him. So I don't want to publicly put him on blast so he feels worse than already after telling him what I felt. Because I know he's listening too, acting like he ain't listening. It's sad. And I said, you know what? I said, man, y'all a problem. And y'all should fix it. Somebody got to tell y'all. That ain't cool. Playing the blacks against each other. What the hell is that, man? We Muslim. What are you doing? We Muslim. And you playing blacks against, you would never do that to your own people. Why are you playing blacks against each other? Come on, that's not cool. Playing blacks against each other and giving none of them nothing and keeping everything for yourself. And they're trying to empower themselves and you want to use them. Come on, man. You got me wrong. No, I don't. I don't got you wrong. No, I don't. Stop. I don't got you wrong. I got you pegged right. And you know something? One of my teachers told me, and the Prophet told us, right? Your heart won't lie to you. You can feel it. The heart won't lie to you. You can feel it. Your heart won't lie to you. No matter what you say, no matter how you twist it, no matter what verse of the Quran and Hadith you try to hide it with, no matter what statement of the scholar you try to use, you're a racist. And you can't cover that with verses of the Quran, Hadith of the Prophet, and statement of the ulama. You are a racist, period. And those like you, they're racist too. Now deal with it. Change it. And until you change it, we're going to keep calling it out until you change it. So here's the call for the black servants of those people. We want to see you, leader. We're not talking to them about nothing. If you're not in charge, we're not rapping, period. What do you mean you're not talking to us? We don't got nothing to say to you. We're going to talk to our own. So when our own make the decision, then we'll talk. Other than that, get lost. We're going to do what we got to do. We're not asking you for nothing. Not a fatwa, not a hadith interpretation, nothing. We'll be safer doing what you do, reading the books on our own. We'll be safer doing what you do, reading the books on our own. And relying on our own understandings than to let you try to teach us. Because your education is going to make us slaves, and we can't be slaves. Your education is going to teach us how to be good niggas, and we don't want to be niggas. Never did, don't want to now, and don't want to be in the future. We Muslim. And that's an honor for us. And you're not taking that away from us. Since you don't call me, I'm calling you live. You get me? Understand clearly what I'm saying. Right? Nah, we're not doing that. We're going to deal with those issues. We're not running. So do what you do, and we do what we do. But we're not running. That's not going to happen. We're not going to put our head down and say, okay, boss, we'll just go in the corner and, make sure no one know that we're building. No, I want black people to know we're trying to build for you. And we want your hand with our hand so we can build together. So our children will be empowered to be leaders, to be in charge, to give out the permission slips. That's what we need to do. And all of us should be willing to sacrifice everything we got to achieve that objective. So my kids, your kids, my grandchildren, your grandchildren are owners and leaders and builders and visionaries. That's what we got to do in the name of Islam. That's what Islam does for people. It empowers them. Look at Malaysia. Look at Indonesia. They were converts. They are rulers now. When they got Islam, they became ruling societies with universities. Look at the Turks. They were converts. The Turks have Arabs right in their land asking their permission. So do the Indonesians. So do the Malaysians. The Arabs go to them and ask permission. Can I teach in your university? Can I work with you? Can we cooperate? And the black man and black woman are asking others for permission when we were giving them shelter and protection. We were giving them shelter and protection. And now we're asking them for permission. Think about that. Just think about how outrageous that sounds. We were giving you security and protection and safety, and now we're asking you for permission? Come on, man. So here I'm saying to you, don't let this issue run. I don't want to talk about nothing else. Don't tell me about no other side unimportant issue. I don't want to talk about no other issue. I want to talk about your racism and when you're going to change it. Because the issue that you're talking about is not as damaging as your racism. The issue you're talking about is not as damaging generationally as your racism. All these religious issues you're talking about are not as damaging as your racism. It's not. Your racism is damaging. Our people, I'm watching, have built what you stand upon, and they still struggling while you chilling. And they build it with their sweat and their tears, and you're comfortable while they suffer. Think about that. You're comfortable while they're struggling, and they built everything that you're comfortable in. And you don't even have enough humbleness, which is Islam, to even say, I'm sorry. And here is something for you that you own, that you can be comfortable in. Does that not sound familiar to y'all? We Black. Doesn't that sound familiar? Don't we know that song, that methodology? You're not even humble enough to say, I'm sorry, and here's something for you so you can be comfortable. That you own. Here's for you. I realize I did you wrong. I took from you, and here's for you. What's for you? Black man and black woman? Muslim? So that's a Muslim. No, you Black too. What's for you? Where's your institutions? Where's your businesses? Where's your schools? That you set the curriculum. Oh, you're too stupid, right? You can't set a curriculum. Even after studying, you're too stupid to set a curriculum. You heard that? Even after studying for years, you still too stupid to set a curriculum. But all around the country, you got unbelievable Black educators that write curriculums, but you can't do it for your kids. You're too stupid. You're too dumb. Yeah, they send you overseas, you finish, you graduate, and you still can't control nothing. Why the hell you go overseas for then? To come back and work for a person that got less education than you. Who does that? You come back to work and serve someone who has less education than you in your community. Huh? What the hell is that? I'm speaking from the heart. So I'm telling you, you can write, You can talk, you can tell those house niggas whatever you want. But this what you're going to get, and this is light when we have to deal with each other. This is light. This is not even 10% of what I have to give you. I'm not one of them. I'm not. Don't mistake it. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them tap dancing Negroes who want to be accepted. No, I'm not one of them. No. We ain't doing that. I refuse to do that. Wrong guy. Sorry. I ain't doing that. I will not look at my babies be your servants. That's not happening. You can forget about it. My babies will never be your servants. Never. And I need all of you to feel the same way. Say it loud and clear. My babies will never be your servants. Put it up. Let them know. My babies will never be your servants. Never. We need to send a strong message to those who wish to oppress us. Seriously. We're doing others a favor. We're not incapable. We can do it. We are a mighty people. We can build for ourselves. We just have to realize that we need and we must build for ourselves. Period. And I'm saying to us, listen, we live this reality. Don't apologize to nobody. Don't let nobody smack you in the face and make you say sorry. Smack you in the face, kick you up the rear end and tell you to say sorry. Ain't crazy as heck. You out your mind. No, never. And trust me, in doing this, for those house Negro Muslims, we're doing them a favor. We're doing them a favor. Whether they know it or not, we're doing them a favor. Because no man, no real woman likes to be oppressed. Not a real man and a real woman. Allah didn't create us for that, to be oppressed people. That's why it's haram in Islam. You're supposed to have some dignity in deen. Islam came, that is one of the objectives of the Sharia, so that you can have some dignity. It's haram to make you feel low and oppressed. It's haram. And the other thing, this is my last point, because I'm holding it back. I really have a lot to say, but I think you got the point. We got Negroes. They're excellent writers. They take good notes. They preserve good aspects from their teachers. And the Negroes are told you can't convey, while the foreigners, the Arabs, write volumes of books for their children and publish them and sell them all around the world and tell the Negroes, you're not allowed to do that. And the Negroes say, okay. You heard what I said? These Negroes are educated. They learned. They have talent. They can write. They can convey. They have written. They have stuff. They could do it. But they're told, don't distribute your stuff while we publish volumes and sell it and make money and build our communities and tell you, Negro, don't do nothing. And you say, yes, sir, boss. And you want to come tell us what to do? And you're like that? When your knowledge and your education should be used to build and uplift your community, instead it's subjugated because you're a slave. And you're not a slave of Allah. Think about that. No, there's no disrespect. Imam Wafdi Muhammad would never tolerate that. And we need to have that spirit. They tried to subjugate him, and he was like, nah, we ain't doing it. We need that spirit. It's knowledge with that. I'm not saying be ignorant. And you know we teach, so they ain't not telling nobody be ignorant of the religion. Absolutely not. You must learn. You must learn knowledge properly. We are Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. We are Ash'ari and Maturidi. We follow the 4 schools. This is us. We are people of Tasawwuf. That's our life. But we ain't slaves for nobody. We black people. And we're dignified black people. We ain't slaves for nobody. Nobody's pulling our strings against our people. That ain't happening. Right? And I need you to share this video. Everyone press share. Because this is another thing. Everyone, right now, please, Barakallahu bikum, press share. Because guess what? There are people among us, Muslims, learned Muslims, who can express this way better than me. But for some odd reason, they remain silent. For whatever reason is. And Allah knows their reasons. But it needs to be told. It needs to be expressed. We need to stop Mr. Charlie in his tracks. Because if we don't, he gonna make us hurt one another. And he don't care. If we're not stopped in our tracks, he will allow us to hurt one another, and he will hide like he didn't have nothing to do with it. He'll go just like this. I didn't have nothing to do with it. And he was the one all the time poking the bear, all the time. But he'll go just like this. And he will denounce these Negroes just like he never knew them. He'll send them out. Go get your people. And when it get hot, he gonna go away. Doesn't that remind you of somebody Allah mentioned in the Quran like that? He gonna send them out. And when they get in hot water, he gonna go like this. I ain't have nothing to do with that. Does that remind you of somebody mentioned in the Quran? There's a similar type of thing mentioned in the Quran. Who's that mentioned about? I sent you. I'm free from that. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't tell him to do that. I didn't have anything to do with that. Don't blame me. I ain't had nothing to do with it. Guess what? They've done it before, and they'll do it again, black man. They've done it to other black people. They'll do it to you. Now I'm speaking to it because it shouldn't even be in our affairs. Period. You shouldn't be in our affairs. But too many of us are afraid of you. I don't know why, because you can't whoop us. So I don't know why we're afraid, because you can't whoop us. That ain't it. So what are we afraid about? You've told us that we can't live Islam without you, when we had Islam before you. Listen, pay attention to what I said. You've convinced us that we can't have Islam without you when we had Islam before you. Did you hear that? You've convinced us that we can't live Islam without you when we had Islam before you. Think about that. Islam was in Ethiopia and Africa before it was in Sham. Before it left Mecca, it was in Ethiopia and Africa. Before it reached Medina, it was in Africa. We embraced Islam when you were fighting against it. And you're going to tell us we can't have Islam without you? Are you crazy? Think about it. Think about it. We built Timbuktu. Us. My people. We built Timbuktu. Let me tell you a story about us. Azhar University is over 1,100 years old. One of the most famous Islamic universities in the world, and among the oldest. They used to be real. Azhar used to be real, like scholarship. Not like today. Azhar today is not the same at all. But I'm talking about the old Azhar. Azhar when it was Azhar. One of the ulama of Azhar went to Timbuktu. He had in his mind, I'm going to teach those Africans. He said it. He said it about himself. I'm going to do da'wah. He got to Timbuktu. He had graduated, finished Azhar when Azhar was Azhar. He had a high degree, like real PhD. PhD on steroids when Azhar was Azhar. He went to Timbuktu in Africa with the intention to do da'wah. He went to do da'wah. Noble thing. When he got to Timbuktu and he met with the ulama, the scholars of Timbuktu, he said they were studying things I never heard of. And I said, I got to go back to Azhar to relearn so I can come have enough knowledge to sit with them. Whoa, did you hear that? He said they were learning and teaching things I never heard of. And he said, I had to go back to Azhar to learn enough to come back and sit with them and learn. You follow? That was the black Muslim in sciences, not just Islamic sciences, in worldly sciences, religious sciences, all types of sciences. They were masters. Masters. We need to return that. We need to return that spirit. We can do it. We can do it. We are a mighty people. We are a mighty people. And if you think they got the solution for us, go look at their own countries where they come from. If you got so many solutions, take your butt back home and solve them problems you got there. Because you haven't done a good job of saving your own nation, let alone come tell us what to do. You haven't saved your own nation, let alone to come tell us what to do. You haven't done a good job of that. Go look at your country. Look at the economics of the situation of your country. Look at the sins and blasphemy going around your own country. Look at the injustice and the thievery and bribery and robbery and oppression in your own country. You gonna come tell us what to do? You crazy. You're not qualified to tell us what to do. Now, you want to tell us am I qualified? You're not qualified. You can't even fix your own problems in your own land where you in charge. And you want to come to tell us how to run our ship? You're crazy. Your joint's going way off course. And you want to come tell us what we should be doing. Are you crazy? This is what we got to do. And it's not racist. It's reality. It's reality. And no one going to tell us that if we don't do it. We don't need someone who's not trying to help us, who's pretending. You're not trying to help us. You want to keep us ignorant so we can never rise. You want to keep us ignorant. You want to keep us ignorant. Send your best Negro, I'll embarrass him in 5 minutes. Send your best house Negro, I will embarrass him in 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's all it's going to take. I will embarrass him in 5 minutes. That's how much you don't care about him. You'll send him out and I'll embarrass him in 5 minutes. He don't know how much you got your foot up his tail. They don't realize it. I do. I guess you gather where I'm going, right? Nah. We got to help ourselves. We got to be a courageous people. They won't allow us to do anything if we keep acting like we act. And that's only hurting us. We can't keep going on like this, black people. Seriously. Islam's supposed to help us, not hurt us. Islam supposed to empower us, not put us down. We're supposed to be dignified with the deen, not belittled. You're right, Kareem. I'm going to end. Could everyone put that up? What our brother Abdul Kareem put up? Could everyone put it? Everyone, let's close out with that thought. We don't need their permission anyway. Let's close out with that. We don't need their permission anyway. Let's fill it up. No more comments. That's it. We don't need their permission. Loud and clear. That's it. If enough of us say that, people will get the point. If enough of us say that, people will get the point. And then we can go build our communities and we can do what we need to do. Build businesses, build schools, build trades, build careers, build institutions of learning, build madrasas, build Quran schools, build schools of hadith, build faculties of fiqh and Arabic language and we can do it. Once we stop seeking others' approval, we can do it. We have enough talent among us to do whatever we need to do. We have to stop seeking other people's approval. We must stop seeking the approval of others. Barakallahu bikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.